Hello and welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. My guest today is Duncan Faithful, Quixant's Chief Commercial Officer. Duncan.
Hi, Lewis. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Welcome back to the podcast.
You.
You're a bit of a regular for us here on Pulse. We've spoken multiple times throughout the pandemic, usually concerning chip supply, customer support, market conditions, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
As this is the first time we've had a chance to catch up in 2023, I wanted to start with a look back into 2022 and how you would summarize the year for Quixant.
So, first of all, from the point of view of the industry, I think the two big gaming shows highlighted how the year sort of developed.
Okay.
And so thinking back to ICE 2022, pretty much all online and sports betting. You know, for the first time in many years, Quixant just turned up to go and see what was going on. All very nervous, all quite cautious. Who knows what's going to happen? That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we get to G2E. You know, so fast forward 10 months, and it was full on. You know, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Everyone feeling better about life. Let's go for it. I think the all of the NPD that we'll see at ICE this year wasn't on show at G2E, but actually the sort of nervousness had been replaced by some optimism. Yeah. So I think 2022 from a market point of view is one of transition, probably. Okay. You know, I think the industry is right to still be cautious. You know, having just been over to Taiwan and talking to a number of suppliers in China, we're not out of the woods yet in terms of all of those really boring component issues that we've talked about forever, it seems. You know, so I think there is some cautious optimism.
Okay.
And actually, I think that, you know, from G2E onwards, it's been a bit of a celebration. I think everyone's been right up for it. So, you know, I think for the industry, 2022 was a transition year, and for Quixant, we spent much more of the year focusing on supply chain and fulfillment, and, you know, ensuring we could get our customers their products so they could take their product to market. It was quite a basic year, really. You know, let's just do the nuts and bolts, do the basics well, and make sure people get products so they can launch their games. At G2E was largely our focus, which we did. So, you know, for Quixant, it was a successful year, if maybe not quite as looking forward and exciting as it could have been.
Okay. So, looking forward into the new year, what's the customer outlook, and what are your clients expecting? Both, I guess, from Quixant, but also from the market at the same time, Duncan.
Yeah. So from Quixant, the overriding feedback we've had over the last couple of months and coming into this year is don't take your eye off the ball. You know, so actually, customers have got some really exciting plans as we go into ICE and beyond in terms of new product launches, which I think makes it different to G2E last year, where they just wanted to get stuff out there in front of the world. So I think this is where, you know, NPD is starting to ramp up, and so there is a real message of just, you know, don't get carried away. Make sure you do the basics well. I think it's still very much on people's minds. I think people are investing though, Lewis. I think the difference
is that the change. Is that the change in tag?
Yeah.
People are,
Yeah, so we're getting much more forward view of people's plans as we go through the year. So they're combining the fact that they know that there's some issues still in supply chain, but with the fact they need to plan further and further and further ahead to make sure they get what they need so they can launch their products for ICE and for G2E largely. Okay. So we're sensing much more commitment to investment, much more commitment to NPD. You know, how can they do things differently? You know, so a real sense of enthusiasm for the year from the market. I think that the one thing that we've really noticed a change going into this year is conversations with people who were previously 100% online, thinking about how they take their content land-based, which is a little bit, you know, it's sort of counterintuitive, really, with everything that's going on in the rest of the world. You know, going from physical to online.
Is that a new market? Is that a new market and such?
Yeah. So when we talk in a minute, which I expect we will, around, you know, our new products. Yeah. Actually, that's a real trend that we're trying to find solutions for.
Okay.
And you know, from G2E, there were several really good opportunities for people who need the help really in how do you get something from online to land-based, and of course, we're pretty well positioned to be able to talk all things hardware, all of the regulations, all of the things you have to think about to get content online, from online to land-based.
Okay. And so, overall, are you saying that the industry is in better shape in 2023? I mean, in what kind of, is it coming at it from the OEM side? Is it coming at it from the supply side, and obviously from the actual demand side for those products as well?
Yeah. So supply side, I think there's the nervous optimism we talked about earlier. I think the bit again, and having just come from Taiwan, we really have to watch, particularly after Chinese New Year, what happens.
Okay.
I think the factories in China lose around about 11% of their staff. They don't come back after Chinese New Year. They just go and do something else. So
okay.
Yeah, so that's coupled with COVID, which is obviously still an issue in China.
Right.
We've got some stuff just to watch out. And
Okay.
from Quixant's point of view, when we spoke last time, Quixant had decided to invest quite a lot of its own resources into forward buying
Yes.
really critical components, and we've committed to doing that again this year. So
Okay.
yeah, so we're planning for all of our volume for this year right now and buying it while we can.
Okay.
From a new product point of view, I think that the difference this year is the shows particularly will see loads and loads of new products, be it online to land-based, be it our traditional manufacturer partners launching new cabinets, new titles. I think there'll be a real impetus and pace to this year, Lewis.
Okay.
So yeah, we're working with our customers now on making sure they get the latest and greatest so that they can put their content in the best light possible. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Okay, and obviously, ICE is now, we're a couple of weeks away from actually going to ICE from this podcast.
Yeah.
How important is it to get back to a fully fledged one? You weren't there last year. It's been a while since we've been on the Quixant booth. G2E was great, but ICE is a different kettle of fish. I mean, it literally is the biggest event, and it's looking like. Describing it as like the World Cup when it comes around, once every so many years, everybody goes. We've heard about the sellout of all the booths and all the booth space, but visitation is going to be off the charts as well. What are your expectations? What are you excited to be showing as well?
Yeah, so we're thrilled to be there. It was a very strange February without it last year for us. It was, I'm sure for everyone. So our meeting diary is full and has been for a long time.
Okay.
So I think our customers and people who we'd like to be our customers are excited to see what we're doing with our core offering. And I think that Quixant has made its name by creating really great products that are gaming hardware platform based, as you know.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing for us is making sure that we can show off that we now have Intel and AMD solutions, whereas before we were primarily an AMD house. AMD has made a decision to, I think, deprioritize the gaming industry is the phrase they've used over the next decade or so. So we're launching our new range of Intel solutions at ICE, which is really exciting.
Okay.
But there are two other things we'll be doing at ICE. We're focusing pretty hard now on our cabinet solutions, which again we've talked about before.
Which you saw at G2E, yeah, that was a kind of
which we're at G2E. However, how we ally our cabinet solutions to our new software solution that we'll also be launching at ICE, is going to be really exciting for us. So we are looking forward to talking to companies, whether they're online looking to go land-based, or whether the pandemic has just changed businesses to such an extent where actually people don't want to be worried about buying components for cabinets or screens or monitors or buttons. Actually, let's outsource that to someone who does it really well, so they can focus on the content, which is what we're
and are they outsourcing part of that or the whole chunk? I mean, do you see that as being you're supplying different elements to it rather than the whole?
Yeah. So currently we obviously supply monitors, button decks, computers to the gaming industry. I think more and more, particularly smaller game manufacturers, the pandemic has meant that they've changed their structure of their internal business. There are less people maybe to go and source these things. So we offer the full cabinet solution with all of our gaming computers on board, as well as the monitors and the button deck. Everything's there ready to go. So all they need to do is put their game onto onto the cabinet and off they go. And one of the things we're launching at ICE this year is we've got a support structure now that will help people make their games as good as they can possibly be. So we have a team of software specialists who can now optimize people's game content, make it look as good as it can be based on the hardware they buy. So we're really keen to talk to people about that at ICE this year.
Okay, well, in that vein, and wrapping up, what goals has Quixant set for itself this year? How are you looking to achieve them, and what predictions do you have as well, Duncan, for 2023?
So our goals, we've got some fairly basic ones, Lewis, and then some more stretchy ones. So from an importance and focus around the boring stuff, let's make sure that we are on top of all of the things that could go wrong relating to COVID or component shortages that don't go away. And I think a big message that I'd like to make sure is that comes across is Quixant's all over that. And most importantly, that will be our focus. But we have some really important goals around working with people on cabinets, working with people on software optimization and how we make people's lives better from that point of view.
Okay.
So we've got three core things that we're focusing on this year. In terms of the market and predictions for this year, I think we'll get to G2E, and I think we'll see the market in a very different place. I think we're expecting that by mid-year, we're hopefully, well, again, I keep saying hopefully, we're going to be through these component issues, which means that everyone can focus on what's next, not what's current.
Okay.
And I think we'll see much more of that as we go through the year. And our overriding goal is to help people achieve that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the heads up, and I'm looking forward to meeting the Quixant team at ICE. It's going to be an opportunity for everybody to actually get fully abreast of the products if they didn't manage to get to G2E, and it sounds like you have a new bevy of things to show as well. So thank you for taking the time to catch us all up, and look forward to seeing you soon, Duncan.
Yeah, great. Thanks for your time, Lewis. I'll see you at ICE.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Cheers. Take care.